We were talking in the back a few minutes ago. Now this team is coming back out on this floor, and you got to help them win basketball games. Let's go to work.
Stewart at 6'9" doesn't belong on that perimeter. Forget it. He can shoot it out there. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Right on cue.
Bringing back memories of Bill Lambier. Most teams that come into Fayetteville have difficulty just getting to the first TV timeout without being blown away.
Welcome back. It's our Wednesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, brought to you each and every day by Lindsay & Associates, with locations in Fayetteville, locations also too in Rogers. Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together. This is also brought to you by Locomotion. It's located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. And lastly, it's brought to you by Fun City. You can catch them just off the 412 bypass in Springdale. If you don't get a chance to catch us each and every day live here, check us out on our podcast, as we podcast each and every day's top segment on iHeartRadio. And we want to continue to move on in the SEC and get you guys up to speed on some of the bigger conference games that are going to be taking place. And there's not a bigger game in the SEC as far as West competition is concerned than College Station. I'm pretty sure all eyes will be on that town on Saturday as Alabama takes on the A&M Aggies. So we thought we'd catch up with AggieYells.com's Fletcher Whiteley. Fletch, welcome back to the Hill, my man.
Thanks for having me, but don't keep your eyes on this game. Go watch something else.
I want to get off into that, Fletcher. You guys have just, that team under Kevin Sumlin has just been, chugging along, very under the radar, sitting at, I believe, 4-1 right now with a big game coming in to your home field versus Alabama. And I know Alabama's coming in as the big bad wolf, and rightfully so, being the number one team, playing really good football. But when you look at this football team, Fletcher, and the way that you guys have won the last two games versus Arkansas and also to South Carolina, haven't come back the way that they have with a freshman quarterback, what does that say about the character of this football team, in your opinion?
When you look at this team, the best thing I can say about them, and it's hard to say a lot about a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds, especially what this team is, they don't quit. They don't know the word give up. They will fight through, and it will serve them really well later on in life. But compared to probably since about 2012, when Manziel was in his first year, that was the last time I can remember an A&M team that just wouldn't quit, not because they just wanted to show people they didn't quit. They just had personal pride in themselves.
Right.
And I think this team just shows a lot of maturity in just saying, hey, listen, we lost that first game against UCLA. We learned from it. We're going to make sure something like that doesn't happen again. And they have matured a lot since that first game of the year.
When you look at this team offensively, what can they take advantage of? I mean, that's a really stout Alabama defense, but what does Noam Mazzoni and staff feel like they can at least try to have some success on Saturday? At what part, passing or running? Which one do they feel more comfortable about?
Well, the way I would attack the Alabama offense is actually a way Kevin Sumlin's never done before, and that's just controlling time of possession. I mean, I've just through my years of recruiting, I've watched teams that were not better than other teams that they were playing. There was a giant mismatch, and they would hold on to the ball until about 3 seconds left on the play clock, and then snap the ball and do a run play for maybe about 2 or 3 yards.
Right.
But A&M's just not used to holding the ball for that long. They're used to being a very quick, very up-tempo, very fast offense. I think the way to beat Alabama is to keep the ball out of their hands. Yes, we know their defense is good. Yes, their defense has scored a lot of touchdowns, a lot more than some offenses have scored touchdowns around the rest of the NCAA. But, I mean, the way that I think A&M could beat Alabama is something that A&M's never done. They never will. And I don't think they'll ever entertain the idea of doing. And you're gonna have a tough opponent this week, and I just don't know if A&M has the right game plan to beat this Alabama team.
Health-wise, how are the Aggies heading into this big ball game in College Station? Could you give us a health update? And then also, too, real quick, Fletcher, I know it's a big weekend. When you have games like this, what better way if you're a coaching staff than to get some of the more bigger names on your campus, either officially or unofficially? First of all, give us the health update, and then who are some names that maybe the SEC fan base needs to keep an eye out on as they're hearing maybe possibly making their way to College Station this weekend?
As far as the health-wise team, outside of Donovan Wilson and then the starting quarterback before the season, Nick Starkel, they're fine. They're ready to go. And this team believes in themselves that they can defeat Alabama. Will they defeat Alabama? I don't know. Probably not. But they believe it, and they won't quit. So I got to give them a little bit of credit on that. As far as official visitors for the weekend, they got a big defensive end from California named Jeremiah Martin. He will be in town for this weekend. As far as the 18 class, they're almost done. They got a lot of 19 kids coming in, and that's where A&M's going to really kind of focus on a lot, is on the 19 kids. Their 18 class is almost full, and so they'll have some of those. But I think the big recruiting weekend where they might get some of their even bigger key players for next season, those guys that start as a freshman and contribute, might happen at the Auburn game.
All right. Well, Fletcher, as always, my man, we love talking to you. We'll bring you back and recap this ball game versus Bama, and then get off into yet another big matchup, you guys, as you'll be taking on the Florida Gators a week from this Saturday. But as always, have a blessed one, and thanks for taking time out on the Hill, my man.
Thank you very much, and woo, Pig Suey.
That was Fletcher Whiteley of Aggies-Gators.com. That's going to wrap up our show for today of our interview segment, and we're going to have Demetrius on a few minutes to close this thing out. But when you hear that, Fletcher doesn't sound too confident, does he, Demetrius?
No, I had the same feeling around the Arkansas game, but they ended up on the winning side, so I won't take too much into that. But since it's Alabama, I'm gonna think he is
like a rock in a hard place.
I'm gonna think he is a little discouraged this week.
And then you have to look at it with the way that Alabama has really dismantled its previous two conference opponents in Vanderbilt and Ole Miss to open up conference play by giving up just 3 points. I mean, it's kind of rough when you look at it. A team gets beat 59-0, 66-3, and this team is coming in with a lot of momentum. I know it's on the road, but this is a program that's used to being the most hated people in town when they arrive, when it's not in outside of Tuscaloosa. So I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any distractions in this ball game. I also want to make a note and apologize that we were not able to have on Stephen M. Smith. We'll have on Stephen tomorrow. And talk the A&M Alabama ball game. Had some family things, but want to give a big shout out before we get out of here. Want to give a shout out to David Waters of Gators Breakdown for joining us and talking a little LSU, Florida, and also to Fletcher Whiteley. Want to give a big shout out to Fletcher for joining us out of Aggies-Gators.com and give us an update of what's to take place in College Station. Lastly, we want to give a big shout out all the time to our sponsors, as this would not be possible. I want to give a big shout out to Lindsay & Associates with locations in Fayetteville, locations in Rogers. Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together. And also Locomotion, looking for a good place to take the kids, have a great time, eat good pizza. Locomotion, it's located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. Go check them out here in Fayetteville. And lastly, Fun City. You can catch up with them just off the 412 bypass in Springdale. And if you don't catch us each and every day, don't get a chance to catch our live stream, make sure you go over and check us out on iHeartRadio, as we on the Hill with Pat Jenkins. We podcast each and every day's top segment to give you guys a little update as to how things are going each and every day throughout the SEC, recruiting, Arkansas, just whatever. We try to bring it to you as real and uncut as possible, but that's going to wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow to talk even more SEC football and give you a little bit more on the Hogs, as we're going to make our way to the defensive side of the preview of South Carolina this evening. But until then, we hope to see you here tomorrow. Demetrius and I will be here, and we hope you will too. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins. You guys have a blessed one.